Welcome to another art vlog. I'm working on a Three Musketeers book illustration using Egg Tempera. Another watercolor and ink sketch for my Hogwarts Legacy sketchbook. And inking a drawing I did of Gambit from the X-Men. I'm continuing to illustrate the Three Musketeers book. I'm on chapter 6. Here is the drawing I came up with. I am using Egg Tempera on mixed media paper. The paper is A3 size and it's toned paper. It has this natural brown color. In this chapter I chose the scene near the end where the king summons them, because he heard about them defeating the cardinal guards, which happened in the previous chapter. There is this rivalry between the king and the cardinal, and of course the king is proud to know his musketeers defeated the cardinal's guards. He wants to meet these musketeers to reward them, and that's the scene I drew. So we have D'Artagnan, the Three Musketeers, the king, and the man on the left is Captain Treville, the captain of the musketeers. D'Artagnan is the smallest because he's supposed to be 19 years old in this part of the story, I believe. But once he progresses throughout the story, I'll draw him tall like Athos and Aramis. Porthos is the tallest one. It's specified in the story that he is the tallest one. He's supposed to have a very impressive physique. Because I chose this scene, the composition is very similar to the illustration I did on the previous chapter. But it's okay, I'll try to come up with a different composition on the next chapter. There are 66 chapters in the book. I have plenty of opportunities to come up with different compositions with these characters. Also, doing multiple character compositions, it's not something I do all the time, so it's fine if I practice this. I am, like always, playing around with a vignette look for these illustrations. I just don't think it will look better if I paint every single thing in the scene. And I feel the same way for my Harry Potter book illustrations. I rather come up with a style that is fun, since this is a personal project, it's not a commissioned piece. The good thing is I can paint however I want. So I use this not only to have fun, but also to practice and experiment in order to get better at painting. Here we have the finished piece. I am quite happy with this one. I'm looking forward to the next Musketeers chapter. Also at the end I added some small details using color pencils. I am continuing my Hogwarts Legacy sketchbook. I decided to paint another fantastic beast. This time is the unicorn, one of my favorite mythological beasts. I've also included my character in the sketch. However, I don't think it was such a good idea, because it's a small surface. I find it very hard to draw people in a small size, but maybe it's good that this made me practice that skill. Maybe I can get better at it in the future. I just don't think it came out too well this time. I am using the watercolors that came with my Harry Potter art box. It's been fun painting with them, and I've used them mostly on my sketchbook lately. This time I'm using them on mixed media paper though. I'm just establishing the main colors first, and then I am adding some more pigment just to layer the shadows in. I'm only planning on using watercolors this time. I'm not adding gouache or markers. And after I added the shadows, I started inking like usual. I didn't ink the patterns on the body of the unicorn. Those only appear when the light hits it. I felt leaving it just as color would give it that look. I sticked it in the sketchbook in the end. I drew a portrait of the unicorn and a baby unicorn look on the other page. I don't like much my character's face, but I do like how the unicorn turned out. This is a drawing I did of Gambit on a loose piece of paper. The paper is not special, it's just printer paper. I was in the mood for doing more inking since my last video, which is why I drew it. Gambit was one of my favorite superheroes when I was a kid. I haven't seen any of the recent stuff though. It's more like a happy memory I have. I don't read the modern stuff, and I haven't seen the newest cartoon on Disney+. I just don't really like the animation at all. It's very hard for me to get into comics or cartoons if I don't like the look of it. It's a weird feeling. Anyway, I started the inking with the small details of the face using my smallest nib. I start with the face because not only is it the focus, but it's also the most fun, and I want to make sure I can make it look good. Then I move around to the rest of the piece. I leave the darkest darks for last. And I use a brush for those. It's easier to cover a bigger surface that way. But in my next inking, I think I should try only brush. It may be fun. Also, I am happy that the sparkles that were on the ink pot before, they seem to have cleared out. I guess I used them all in my previous inking. In the end, I added color digitally. I just took a picture of it and worked it on Clip Studio Paint. Thanks for watching and have a great day.